Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Christmas episode of Live from the Hermitage. This is the Dharma Bum, the one and only, and I am here this week with my three co-hosts, Xander, Xavier, and little Bruno you see on the screen there. And thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate an exciting show for you tonight. Wow, that camera looks swaggy. What a shame. Not exactly sure what that is. I hope it clears up. Anyway, you can hear me okay, and we'll try to power through any technical difficulties we have. We got a lot of new stuff this week. I'm trying out a whole new platform. It's called Streamlabs. Probably a lot of you have, especially content creators, have heard of it. It's essentially a platform that provides real-time services for streamers, and one of the biggest components of that is our bot. I'm absolutely certain, actually, that he's functioning. And what I'm going to do now to sort of do the concept of that is I'm going to begin the raffle for tonight. We are going to, at the end of the show, raffle off a beautiful Mila. I'll show you the ones that we have available for you guys, and hopefully not dropping too many frames. Just taking a moment to load up, but in any case, yeah, we'll do the raffle of the Mela, and oh my. Well, we will start the raffle in just a second as soon as this loads up. I'll just go on with, and in a minute here, what we're going to do is give you an update on the Walk for Peace. Those of you who aren't 100% familiar with what the Walk for Peace is, get used to it, because I talk about it non-stop on my channel since it started. I'm going to keep talking about it. We're going to look at some videos at the top here of the stream, and I'm finally there now to be able to start the giveaway, and hopefully in a moment that's going to happen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is hopefully to get how to work the giveaway. So what you do is you type in !raffle like that, and hopefully the bot will give me a ticket, but not so much. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Okay, cool. So the bot is working, just a little bit laggy, but he's there. So that's how you do it, guys. If either me or Bones, my co-pilot here for tonight's show, he's actually here with me. If either one of us win tonight, we'll draw again. So that kind of could add some suspense to the contest. So go ahead and whenever you want to, type in !raffle. You have to be a follower of the channel for, I think, a minute or 5 minutes or something like that to be able to enter. So if you're just tuning in and you're not following me and not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that, and then by type in !raffle. The mailers are gorgeous. We gave away a beautiful green one last night. I hope the person who won that comes back again this evening and tries again to win the contest. And we have just a pile of channel news that I'm going to go through really quick. We have, I'm going to drop it here in the chat, officially a merchandise store. And this is not just for the stream, it's for, hey Lama Choga in the house. This is this is our special guest for later, just a little bit after we do the Walk for Peace update. So guys, this here is the merchandise store, and a click if you'd like to go over and look at some of the merch. We have like official Dharma Wheel Hermitage merch, which actually has the logo on it. I actually want that coffee cup. I just think it's gorgeous. The Dharma Wheel Hermitage logo in general is gorgeous. So, and let me know if you guys can hear me and hopefully see me and everything. Yeah, I see myself over here on my co-pilot screen. Um, so that's the merch store, guys. So please give it a look, and if there's anything there you like, the profits will go to support the Dharma Wheel Hermitage, and we're going to talk about some rather pressing needs that we have coming up with that regard. We do need to raise in relatively short order about $500, guys. So please take a look at the merch. Also, remember that I have a book out in print, and you can get to that in the channel description of this YouTube channel. You can see where it talks about my books, and you can go buy a book. I didn't bother to drop the link tonight because really, to be honest with you, I've only sold about 20 copies. So, but if you want a book, you can go to my YouTube channel description, and the books are there. Another thing that we've got going tonight, guys, that I'm really excited about is I've managed to, by adopting the Streamlabs platform, I've managed to circumvent not being able to monetize on YouTube. So we have tips, guys, and I'm going to drop that link right now for you. And just give me 1 second, and we'll put that in the chat. So there's the tips. If you want to give a tip in the stream, the bot should like announce it on the screen, on the actual stream itself. There'll be a little graphic that pops up and a sound, kind of a ringy sound that comes up, and it says your name and says that you gave a tip. And then it will also, the bot in the chat channel will also say that you gave a tip. And we're able to monetize that way. So if you want to give a stream tip tonight, please do. And then last but not least, guys, we have the Winter Appeal, which is another way to donate, and that link is in the description of this stream right below. So please give a consideration. I'm going to talk about this at the end of the stream as well, but we really do need to raise about $500 in fairly short order in order to stay afloat up at the Hermitage and start the new year really flush. We've got some bills to pay, and we have like pretty much no food up there. So give a thought to that, and let's go ahead and look at the update for the Walk for Peace. So they're in day number 62. If you're not 100% familiar with what the Walk for Peace is, I'll go over it with you really quick. They began in Houston, Texas. It's 17 monks. They've had an incredible adventure. If you want to learn the details in much more depth of that adventure, go to episode 5 of this show. You can go on the podcast list and go, this is episode 7. You go to episode 5 of the Live from the Hermitage, and that entire show was dedicated to the Walk of Peace. It really I break down for you guys what they're doing and the effect that they're having, and everything. So it's a good episode to catch up on. But we're going to just do a quick update and talk about their recent adventures. They're at day number 62. They're expecting about 120 days to get to DC. And so this is the halfway mark. This is a really sort of a momentous thing, and then right at Christmas, and that's the update that we're going to give is going to be sort of the Christmas update for them. They left Alabama 24 hours ago, crossed the Alabama-Georgia border. So they're in Georgia now, and traversing the state of Georgia. And so, yeah, and please keep in mind what we want is not just to inform you about this. We would like to get Buddhists everywhere involved in every way, shape, and form to oh, is Monk Life spamming my stream?
Yeah.
Legitimately, Dr. Rob, what are you doing, dude? The bot is like literally shutting you down. Oh my god. I love you guys, by the way, all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's going to be a great show. We might be skipping some frames. I'm on a mobile hotspot. We'll do the best we can to power through it. And like I said, I have a special guest waiting on Zoom, and I think you guys all know who he is anyway. This is the inestimable Lama Choga is going to join us in a bit, and hopefully the stream will be going smooth by then. Hello, Dharma Bum and Lama Choga from Abdul. I know you from Discord. Weeble Wobble, my winner from last week. Buddy, you can't be spamming symbols. I don't think you're allowed any symbols. I'm not sure why. I'll have to check on that. You might only have spammed one symbol. And so Monk Life is with us in the stream, and please check out his channel. The bot did his job and told you Monk Life's YouTube channel. Please go over to his YouTube channel. He's a fellow content creator. Give him a follow. And of course, Lama Choga's channel also was announced out by the bot. You can see there in the chat. So the bot's excuse me. So the bot's definitely did his job tonight, and that's wonderful. Wonderful news. So yeah, they're at day 62. They've entered Georgia, and we're going to look at a series of videos that will visually fill in what I just told you. So yeah, enjoy, guys, and watch this. Please pay attention to this stuff. And what I was going to say before I got sidetracked is, please, guys, let's help these folks out. Okay. I feel that right now, at the halfway point especially, it's really critical for those of us who are in independent media, and this is for Dr. Rob, for Lama Choga, who are both content creators, fellow content creators. Please, guys, let's get the message out about this on independent media, because they're getting local coverage, and we're going to see that again today, another local newscast about them. But what we want to do is really try to amp the pressure and get them national coverage. And the way that we do that is by everybody putting it out on their own little social media feeds and their own little channels, right? So let's everybody do our part and shine some light on this, because I really believe that what's going on here is incredible. And again, watch episode 5 of this show if you need to be caught up on why it's incredible. But you might get it from these videos as well. All right, enjoy, guys, and I'll be back in a minute.
Monks on a mission for peace. Capital City today is nearing the halfway crossing, promoting healing, unity, and passion. Fox 20's Corinna Shadowan shows us why this stop holds a special meaning to them.
Let's today be my peaceful day, and today be a peaceful day for all of us.
Buddhist monks walked through Montgomery today, moving in silence and carrying a message of peace. This is day 59 of their Walk for Peace, a 2,300-mile journey from Texas to Washington, D.C. Tonight, they have completed more than 1,000 miles, all on foot.
Here in this gathering, if you look around, you will see as diverse as we can get. And yet we are standing because we all want peace.
Leaders say Montgomery's history makes this stop especially powerful, a city defined by continued healing.
The symbolism of what this place represents as the beginning of the civil rights movement, it's important for us to stand arm in arm with those that are walking for peace and justice throughout this world.
And for many who came out, the message hits home.
And what they are focused on doing to have peace in this world, and it's such a wonderful act for them to want to do this for our nation and for our world.
The walk continues towards Washington, Washington, D.C., with a reminder that peace starts from within.
If all of us here can have a peaceful and happy day, the whole world will be at peace. May you all be well, be happy, and peaceful.
In Montgomery, Corinna Shadowin, Fox 20 News.
honor. Thank you so
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, look, we got something for y'all too. Yeah, we got something for all y'all.
Be careful.
Careful.
That's the coin.
Challenge coin.
Challenge coin.
You give me, huh?
You two pin it on for me.
I have some more ways this
Thank y'all.
Good evening, everyone. We are here at the borderline of Georgia state line, and we are here saying goodbye to Alabama. Thank you so much for all the love and all the hospitality that you have given us. Thank you, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, for all those love. Thank you to all the troopers department, to sheriff department, and police department, to all the department that have been supported us to get to this point. It means a lot to us, and together we will walk for peace. And this is the flowers of peace, I guess, because it's a white color. White colors represent for pure. It's very pure. The purest our mind is, the more peace we have. So this is for everyone from Texas to here, and for all those people who have followed us online and abroad. Thank you so much. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. And tonight and today is still our peaceful day. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you.
不管是这种，就是穿这种。
就他们这种音乐，他们对这种就是这种唱歌跳舞这种是会特别感兴趣。
Sit down. You gotta get back to the show.
Sit down, baby. Sit down. No. Baby, sit down. No. No.
Respected Sangha, respected Mayor, Chief, and hello everyone. As usual, every time, everywhere we go for Buddhist monk, every day when we arrive to the rest place, we always do the anthem, which is praying, and then the blessing, and ask for permission to stay overnight. It's the routine that we do every day and in the morning before we leave as well. And so tonight we will do the same. It's going to be in Pali language. I know that most of us don't understand any Pali, but when we do the chanting, we ask all of us with our hands like this together to
Hey everyone, so that video came to a rather unceremonious end, sorry about that. But that was Christmas night. It had a huge gathering. It was at a Christian church, and as far as I could tell, several hundred people attended the event on Christmas night. And they are continuing across Georgia today and tomorrow. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, they will continue to move across Georgia. So we are dropping some frames and some audio. The stream is going to be a bit laggy tonight. Again, I'm on a hotspot. I'm not up at the Hermitage. To answer Lama Choga's question on audio, first of all, I'm in town, and the plan that we have on the Starlink is not a roaming plan. It's a residential plan. So I can't move the antenna. I couldn't bring it down here to where I was staying for the holidays. That is Christmas night. Yeah. Yeah, it is beautiful, isn't it? And so that's it. To answer Lama Choga's question about the Starlink, I wish I was on the Starlink. The Starlink is really flawless bandwidth, and this will be the last stream I'll be doing down here in town. Next week I'll be back up at the Hermitage, and if we get some donations tonight, we'll be able to pay the Starlink bill, and we'll be back in business. So that answers that question. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit. I didn't know that Dr. Rob was streaming. I do know that now. I think it's great that he stopped by. I love Dr. Rob with all my heart and soul. I thank him so much for being here. I do want to make a notice to the content creators, Lama Choga, yourself, and Dr. Rob, that the bot did his job. The bot has a list of my favorite content creators, and when they come into my channel, they get acknowledged, and their channel gets shot out, a link to their channel, so that people can, go join their, subscribe to their channel. So we're not in competition here. This is Dharma content, so we're all on the same team. And the bot's doing its job tonight, guys. Keep entering the raffle, !raffle. Guys, we have a very special guest coming up. I really hope that the stream continues to work as best that it can. but we're going to dive right into our special guest. Let me see if I've got him. I've got him on Zoom. Let's go ahead and I will on Zoom, and you should be able to hear me, and then we are going to do that, and it should work. Okay, so my special guest tonight, guys, let the scene transition. There he is Lama Choga from the Insight Sangha, and I want to welcome him. Everybody, please give warm prayers of long life and auspiciousness to Lama Choga. Very, very great honor to have him here on our show tonight. I said this is going to be extra special. We've got lots of great stuff for you, and this is the greatest, as great as it gets. I've got a lot of great questions for Lama Choga, so we've got a lot of new viewers on the channel. So what I wanted to begin with is just to talk a little bit about what, like, some of you might be scratching your head going, legitimately, who is Lama Choga? Well, I'll just say from my mind as a content creator, he is hands down, I would say, the largest audience Dharma related content creator out there, really. If there's somebody bigger, then it's got to be like maybe the Dalai Lama or somebody like that. Sure, I mean, if you go to the Karmapa's YouTube channel, I'm sure he's got like 50 million subscribers. But for those of us who are just out there scrabbling and making content, just average everyday content creators, Lama Choga, I think, is hands down the biggest game in town, really. And so for that reason alone, he warrants, to come on the show. And Lama Choga, I believe his popularity comes from, this is my opinion, this is why I was attracted to him anyway, and to begin following him years ago, is, as I've described before, in Sanghas in general, and in Buddhism in general, but in the Sangha, there are two different kind of people. There are teachers, and then there are builders. And I think I've talked about this before. I'm a builder. It's all I want to do. It's what I want to be. I want to have a seat in the Sangha that's not just as a student. I want to help build the Sangha, and in physically, and then also, I guess, virtually, right, online, but physically. And that's what the Dharma Wheel Hermitage is about. That's where I'm at, and that's all I want to do, and that's all I can do. I know my limits as a human being. I know my limits. And then there are teachers. There are teachers who then come into that space that the builders build and present the Dharma in a way that is designed to bring enlightenment of the students. And what makes Lama Choga, I believe, absolutely unique is that he's both. He wears both those hats. He's the Chainsaw Hermit. Go check out his other channel. He's got a second channel. You can search it up. His main channel, Ultimate Meaning, is linked in the description below. So, go check out Chainsaw Hermit as well. And he's literally building this incredible hermitage, which we're going to have him talk about and explain to us a little bit later in the show, with his own bare hands and a chainsaw. And that's his shtick, if you want to call it that. That's his thing. And so he's an incredible teacher. He's a Lama. I mean, straight up, a really, really amazing teacher. And then he's also a builder. That's something I'll never be able. I can't juggle that many balls in the air. So that to me is really quite a feat to be able to accomplish that and to do it well, to wear both hats and do that well. So that's how I came to know Lama Choga, and then he has founded a group of students, a Sangha called the Insight Sangha, and we're going to talk about that. But right now, Lama, can you hear me? So I got some questions for you.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, yeah.
All right, well, great. Yeah, I can perfectly, and hopefully our audience can too. Guys, keep me advised if it gets really bad, but hopefully the bandwidth will actually smooth out as we go. So, Lama, first of all, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure, Christopher. Always nice to talk to you.
Well, that's incredible, and what an opportunity for us and for my audience to really be able to get to know you a little better. So, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, could you tell me, tell my audience a little bit about how you became a monk and why you wanted to make that decision? Why did you want to take the robes to begin with?
You know what? It was kind of an accident. It happened accidentally, really. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go into retreat. I was kind of the typical Western Dharma practitioner who was basically desperate to find better instructions on meditation, on the inner meaning of the Dharma. And out of that desperation, I gave my life and I went into retreat. But part of that process in that retreat I went into was taking robes temporarily. Strictly speaking, there's no such thing as temporary ordination, but it's what we do in the West. And this is also a feature in Semiling, Scotland. Semiling, Scotland is the first Tibetan Buddhist monastery in the West, and they've got the best established retreat center. It's probably the most authentic retreat. Certainly the one I partook in was probably the most authentic one that ever happened in the West. And part of that was to take robes. And then during the retreat itself, we had a particular teaching. And what I have to say from the outset is that I never intended or wanted to become a monk. I had a strange feeling when I was younger that somehow I was meant to be a monk or a soldier. I don't know where that came from, but I had no intention. I always considered myself to be a lay practitioner. But then having taken robes and then in retreat, you know, being cloistered, cut off from the world with your teacher, who's this Tibetan, very wrathful Tibetan teacher from Eastern Tibet, from Kham, Zakampa. They're a bit like the Wild West of Tibet. They're kind of cowboys. So he was our teacher, and we were locked in retreat for 4 years with this guy teaching us. And at one point, there was a particular teaching, and I just couldn't bear not receiving it. I'd become addicted to Dharma teachings. And part of the thing about this particular teaching was that it's the Vinaya. And a part of the Vinaya is about lay vows, but the rest of it's about ordained vows. And so there's a stipulation that you have to be ordained or planning to become ordained in order to receive these teachings. So I made a commitment at that time. And then as soon as our 4-year retreat ended, then I took that commitment seriously. It's basically as soon as you're able to take ordination. So I actually, when I got out of retreat, I organized an ordination party of Westerners to go to Sherbling in northern India. And we traveled from Scotland straight to India, took full ordination, and then from there we went to Nepal, to Sekar retreat in Nepal. And I spent the further 8 years there in retreat, relying on the same teacher.
So now we're going to go a little bit down the rabbit hole with you, because now a few months ago you took off your robes, and you did so in a very public way on YouTube. I think it was even live, and I was wondering if it's not, you know, if it's not too painful, if it's not too personal, if you could talk a little bit about that, like what prompted that decision, and how do you feel about that now, a few months out, or however long it's been away from that decision? How do you still feel about that? I see you're still in the lay, you've got the lay robe. Maybe talk a little bit about that shawl that you're wearing and what the meaning is behind that as well.
Yeah, so there's two things to disrobing. There's things that are positive and there's things that are kind of negative, where there's, you know, kind of positive or conducive factors, and there's these sort of non-conducive factors. There's a bit of each, and it wasn't an easy decision. I had come back from Nepal straight out of retreat to Canada to look after my mother and father. My father's 93 and my mother had chronic illness, and so I spent 3 years as a monk in Western civilization with no support from a monastery, completely on my own, being a kind of alien, you know, an anathema to society. And it's not easy, I think. And it's also kind of pointless in many ways, being a monastic without the support of monastery, not living a monastic life. And along with that, then we have a lot of rules, for example, that monks should keep. The Tibetans themselves aren't very good at keeping these rules, but putting that aside, you take particular vows. And so there's a lot of things that one might do. Have you dropped out? Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. You can mute your mic at that time. Yeah. That's okay. That's fine as long as I know it. I wasn't sure if you dropped out for a minute. So, so there's a few things that we have rules on that are obviously very, very strict, but there's also a lot of secondary and minor rules. And part of the problem is living as basically running a household, looking after my parents, and living as a lay person in monastic robes. It's difficult because it can give a bad impression of monastics in general. I mean, one of the wonderful things about being a monastic, for example, you were just showing this video about this walk of peace, right? This march of peace across the United States of America. And so people relate to you in a different way. And this can go in a positive direction and a negative direction. It could be positive and negative. Some people immediately will associate you with this idea of world peace, for example, and it's inspiring to them. But at the same time, some people will see you to be a weirdo. And so there's this kind of dichotomy, right, going on all the time, this juxtaposition. But also, for example, in developing the Hermitage, this retreat place I'm building in Canada in the Northern Gulf Islands, then I have to do things like build meditation huts and cut down trees, right? And monks aren't even allowed to cut grass, for example. So this was quite difficult for me. And as I said, then the Tibetans themselves don't necessarily keep the vows really purely, not compared to these yellow robe monks, but also Western Tibetan monks tend not to keep their vows very purely. But for me, it seems a bit strange, really, to take vows and not to try and keep them as best you can is very difficult. And then also you can give a bad impression to monasticism. For example, I did a lot of videos on YouTube. Some of them have sort of controversial titles like shit posting for Buddha, etc., and non-dual trolls. And so some people could associate this with being kind of very negative, reflecting negatively on monasticism itself. And I didn't want to misrepresent monasticism, and that was a big part of it. But there were other practical concerns. For example, my mom had chronic illness, and part of that was like she was basically dying. And a monk can absolutely not be involved in any way in things like treatments that are going to intentionally shorten somebody's life. So it was a really difficult situation to be in, especially considering the way palliative care is administered in the West. It often involves the use of morphine, etc., which shortens life. It really, the way I see it, it's a form of sort of euthanasia. We don't call it that.
Slow euthanasia, exactly. Like slow euthanasia.
Yeah, but it's not real euthanasia. The intention is not to kill the person, but through the kind of treatment that naturally, if you give somebody morphine, they're going to calm down and it seems like they're not suffering so much. And that's part of the process that's used in the West, especially here in Canada. But there is a separate stream, which is actual use of euthanasia. And that is actually a very high bar. It's very hard. My mom didn't qualify for that. So this was a consideration. And so my behavior, how it reflect on monasticism, also limitations that I had and what I could and could not do. And so I'd thought about it for a long time. And I thought for probably about a year that I would need to disrobe, and I was just waiting for the right opportune moment. And then after we did this spring retreat at the beginning of 2025, I thought that probably the time was right for me to do it. So there's some things I miss. For example, I miss the fact that they're kind of the same thing. For example, I can go out in public incognito. I can just put on light clothing, I can go out. But as a monk, you're not allowed to. So there's a positive side and a negative side to that. The freedom of being able to go out without everybody staring at you and thinking, what the hell is that, right? Is a relief, right? It's a lot of pressure on you all the time when people are going to react to you in a very extreme way normally. But also what I miss is that you can have a very positive effect on others. For example, I go to the shops and some people might go, be surprised, but other people will come up to me and say, oh, my mother just died. And there's something really significant about me meeting you at this time. It's like meant to be. So people associate with monasticism. For example, they associate with these monks on this long march in a different way. And that can be positive, but it can also be negative. So it's kind of catch-22 situation.
Can you talk a little bit about the I don't know what it's called, so tell me what it's called, but I'm going to call it a shawl that you're wearing now, and what is the sort of the meaning behind that?
Yeah, so this is called the Zen, and it's one of the 3 Dharma robes, and usually we call it a Zen. Usually for monastics in the Tibetan tradition, and these are maroon colored, and in the Sri Lanka, etc., they're usually yellow, or Thailand's usually kind of yellowish orange, and then there's sometimes like maroon colored in Burma. Often it's a more orangey color, saffron color. So what had happened was initially when the Buddha started his community, there weren't any rules, and also there was no specific dress. But a donor wanted to give donations to the Sangha, and accidentally what he did was he gave donations to some Jain monks instead, some Hindu or Jain monks, and he couldn't tell them apart. So he asked the Buddha if he could do something about this, and the Buddha decided that, well, okay, we'll wear a uniform so people can identify us. And so what the Buddha had said was, the monks have to, they aren't monks really, they're mendicants. You have to go to the graveyard and collect cloth that people have discarded, because they were not allowed to have possessions, right? And no one else would use this cloth, so it wasn't like stealing, right? So in general, when somebody died, they would burn the bodies and they would just leave their clothing at the kind of funeral area. This is dirtro, this charnel ground we call it, and it was discarded. And so they were allowed to go and take that cloth, they would wash it, and then they would dye it a sort of saffron color. And the reason why they dyed it saffron color was because at that time, nobody wore this color. It was the color that they would wrap corpses in. So it was like the kind of color no one would dare wear. And so it was like really obvious that these people were somebody different, and they weren't ordinary kind of lay people. And also the cloth itself wasn't something they were misappropriating. It was very important for the Buddha. This possession and ownership was a very difficult issue, and also taking things that weren't given. So this robe then, when it came to Tibet, became a maroon color because they just didn't have the access to the same kind of dyes. So red is okay, orange is okay, yellow is okay. Not supposed to wear blue, etc., or black, that sort of thing, or white. So the white color is generally associated with lay practitioners. And if you go to Southeast Asia, Malaysia, these sorts of places, and they have a big Dharma gathering, then all the lay people will wear white. So normally a monk wears a maroon zen, but a lay lama, or it's kind of like being a minister or a reverend, right? Like I'm a man of the cloth. I trained as a lama. So you become a lay person, but you can't wear monastic robes anymore. And so what they do is they put in this white patch, and the white patch is to signify that this is a householder, somebody who would have like a consort or a wife or something like that, or would be, drink alcohol, or would live in a household and not live in a monastery. But it's also to signify that this person is not only a practitioner, but kind of a teacher maybe, or a mendicant. And it's called a Zen Trata, which means a stripy Zen in the Tibet. And it's usually associated with ngakpas. So you heard of ngakpas. They often have long hair tied up on their head, and they wear lots of jewelry sometimes. And they sometimes have strange conduct. So this is generally associated with ngakpas, but it's not specific to ngakpas. A ngakpa is a mantraist, by the way. The term itself, ngak, means like voice or speech. And a ngakpa is a secret mantra practitioner, somebody who does like tantric practices. But anybody, like if you go to the monastery here in Vancouver, in Canada, all the Chinese wear these because they're lay people, so they wear these. Strictly speaking, you shouldn't. If you're just a lay practitioner, you should wear white, not one of these. Well, normally it says, that the kind of standard is that if you've done a Lama retreat, so if you're a Lama, then you're allowed to wear one of these stripy Zens. So that's the purpose. And I don't have to wear robes all the time, right? So when I go out to the shops, when I'm helping my father, like recently I've been taking my father to play golf and stuff like that. I don't have to wear robes. When I was a monk, I did. Everywhere I went, I have to wear robes. It's part of your vows. So I can just wear normal clothing when I'm on the Hermitage. I wear like dungarees and I use my chainsaw, and there's no issues there. But when I'm doing something like a religious ceremony, teaching online, the other day we went to church, then I wear my Zen. It's a representation of a sort of religious significance or spiritual significance. So
what a great
association is really important, you know.
What a great explanation.
Yeah.
I actually, it's something that I find very intriguing because I'm going in the opposite direction. I would like to, if possible, you know, obtain the robes. So it's great to hear you talk about it. I have one last question in this first segment, guys, and then after Lama answers the question, we are going to take a brief musical break, but then we're going to come back and we're going to dive into what Lama Choga is doing now, and the Insight Sangha, what it is, who it is, and where that's going in 2026. But one last question, and if I was thinking about skipping this question, my producer over here, Bones, in the chat, would have. He was definitely not going to let me. So you get the question, and it finally comes full circle, Lama, because you're the one who started me on this tradition in my interviews. Lama Choga, what is consciousness?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and the Buddhist perspective is not what most people will associate with consciousness, because we're used to hearing the Vedic presentation of consciousness as being synonymous with a kind of soul, higher soul, Brahman or Atman. There's this division in the Vedic tradition between the soul or the consciousness of the individual and the consciousness of God. And they're seen to be kind of one thing that's inseparable, but because of mistaken thinking, then we perceive a self or separate consciousness called the Atman. The Atman itself is refuted in Buddhism because we believe in Anatman, which is no self. And so consciousness isn't that. If you look at the Abhidharma, then what consciousness is the ever changing flux of conscious experiences. So we have the physical form, which is one of the aggregates, and then there's these mental events. And consciousness is associated with these mental events. And strictly speaking, there's 6 types of consciousness, although the Zen tradition believe in 8 types of consciousness. And these are these sort of physical outer things like sights, sounds, smells, tastes, bodily sensations, and something we call awareness of thoughts. It's kind of consciousness or mental consciousness. So in the Abhidharma, what it teaches is that this stream of conscious events, discrete conscious of events, is associated with a physical form. And then when that form dies, that consciousness then moves on through the bardo, and then it becomes attached or intertwined with another physical form in the next lifetime. So that's what we call consciousness in Buddhism. But there's also something else which is called Rigpa, or awareness. Now, Rigpa, or awareness, is a presentation that's kind of unique to Tibetan Buddhism. And it's the thing that we see that sounds very similar to the non-dual Vedic or the Vedanta or the Hindu tradition. We think it's kind of the same thing. This awareness itself is synonymous with the ultimate meaning, what we call ultimate bodhicitta, or the Dzogchen Mahamudra. It's a synonymous thing. And it seemed to be a characteristicless non-composite phenomena that is equivalent to awakening or enlightenment. In the Zen tradition, as I mentioned before, they have 8 types of consciousness. So they've got the normal consciousness, the 6 ones that we talk about, which everybody thinks about, like sights, smells, sounds, these sorts of things. And then there's something, the 7th one, which is called the afflicted consciousness. So the afflicted consciousness is that which has got this fault of perceiving me and mine as being a separate entity. And it's something that can be purified. All the consciousness could be purified away. And then the 8th consciousness is something called the all base. The all base is the alaya conscious. And this alaya consciousness is the thing that we would normally think about as being consciousness. So they see this as to be an ultimately substantial existent thing, and that's the true mind. This true mind, because of the power of afflicted consciousness, becomes imprinted habitually imprinted. And this is the process of karma. And then this alaya consciousness projects then the karmic world, the world we perceive, based on its imprinting or its habituation. But I have to stress here that this position is refuted in the middle way. So the middle way presentation of Tibetan Buddhism refutes the existence of alaya consciousness. So it's a really quite deep and difficult topic, not one that can be easily understood.
Well, you did better at your answer than I did when you asked me the same question on an interview which thankfully never aired anywhere. But maybe
you never know, it might still happen.
Oh my goodness! Well, the audio came out really terrible, guys.
Yeah,
so
that was the problem. Is the audio is horrible.
I just found out a few minutes ago that I just want to make sure that we've got everybody in the raffle who wants to be in. I've confirmed from looking at the raffle page that it's now functioning properly. We're ready to draw, but we want to get some more people in. So if you haven't entered our raffle today, it's for a beautiful free mela, and let's just take a quick look at them really quick. See if we can go over here to the camera. And so there they are, and they're really quite gorgeous. Later when we do the drawing, I'll actually take them out of the bag and you can look at them. They have a couple of different sort of I don't know what you'd call it, the head bead. I don't know, maybe Lama could tell me, but the key bead
Guru
or whatever.
Bead, called.
The guru bead.
It's called the guru bead.
They have a couple of different endings on them. Some of them have these wonderful. I read the website. Some of them are these wonderful Chinese knots that are for auspiciousness and health, and then about half of them have a tiny little metal dorje, a tiny little metal vajra on them. It's very, very tiny, but it's there, and they're really quite nice. So they're really cool, and you'll get to pick, generally speaking, which one you want. Last week we gave Weeble Wobble. He won a green one, and that's going to be heading out to him real soon. But so we'll do another one at the end of the show. But if you haven't entered, do it now! Exclamation point raffle. No spaces, just exclamation point raffle in the chat for a chance to win a mela at the end of the show. We're going to take a little break, guys, because this is a great show. We go 2 hours, and we're only about halfway through. So we're really going to dive into it on the next segment with what Lama Choga is doing now, what his projects are, and what his motivations are for 2026, and what his plans are for the Insight Sangha. So if you're one of the folks like myself who is a part of the Insight Sangha, then please stick around for the second half of the show, where we'll give Lama Choga a chance to talk about that. But in the meantime, go get yourself a drink and some of those Christmas leftovers. You got some time. We're going to play a song for you. This is another in the pretty much endless list of songs that have been composed in honor of the Walk for Peace. We'll see you in a few minutes.
From Fort Worth to Hawaii, a 120-day, 300-mile journey of peace. Buddhist monks walking across America with their loyal dog Aloka by their side, spreading loving kindness, compassion, and hope for the whole world. Step by step beneath the sky, we walk with hope, you and I. Let the anger fade away, let compassion lead our way. Every heart can learn to heal, every wound can slowly seal. In this world of joy and grief, we rise and walk for peace. Walk for peace, walk for light, walk through day Let's walk for peace. Across the land from sea to sea, a message carried peacefully. A 120-day walk so wide, 2,300 miles they stride. Buddhist monks with hearts so pure, a loka walking strong and sure. Step by step their prayers increase, calling all to walk for peace. Walk for peace, walk for light, walk through day and walk through night. Hand in hand the world will see, peace begins with you and me. Walk for truth, walk for love, guided by the stars above. Let all hatred finally cease. Come with me. Let's walk for peace. May all beings live in freedom. May all suffering gently cease. May our footsteps write the story of a world that walks in peace. Through the valleys, over mountains, let our gentle courage rise. Peace is born in every moment when compassion fills our eyes. Walk for peace, walk for light, walk with courage shining bright. Every breath a prayer release for a world that walks in peace. Walk for hope, walk for love, blessed by wisdom from above. Let all sorrow find release. Come with me. Let's walk for peace. Come with me. Let's walk for peace.
And we're back with Lama Choga live from the Hermitage. Thank you guys so much for joining me again tonight. Once again, reminder, if you haven't gotten into the raffle, ! raffle for the mailer at the end of the show. Lama Choga. So, first of all, let's begin talking about the Insight Sangha, but let's start with the Hermitage, because this seems to me to be sort of your headquarters in British Columbia, Canada, if I'm correct. And talk about, you're literally on an island, on a mountain. So talk about that and how you're building that space and where you stand with that. How built out is it, and what are your plans for it? Yeah, if you want to pay $1,000. Well, it's on an island, right? You have to take a ferry out to it, right? And then, as I understand, 2 ferries, and there's a mountain on this, and you're on a mountain on this island, right? Now, how many people do anybody else live on the island besides the retreat? Is there any other? Now, how substantially done are you? Could you do you have people living there now? And well, I saw that you.
What are you doing?
I saw that you had some retreat huts already up, some nice campus. They look really great. Have you?
Fucking hey, man, that's not good, but you're getting wicked aggressive, dude.
And there are people living there. I want to emphasize there are people currently. Yeah, if you want to pay $1,000. You have to take a ferry out to it, right? And then, now, it's important for my audience. It's important for my audience to understand too that these are what I've been talking about on a bunch of different shows that I've done. These are hybrid retreats. You can participate in these retreats in a very real way by signing up for them, and this is something that's relatively new. It's sort of kind of edgy in my mind, and so I think it's important for people to understand that you can participate. So let's talk specifically those retreats. You've got some plans for this coming up year. Can you talk about the German retreat, and then I think isn't there another one also scheduled for next year as well?
not allowed to, you can't look at your social media or Netflix or stuff like that. You don't read worldly books. You kind of study spiritual texts and things like that. And you're not allowed to work. And anyway, we're meditating all day long, right? So the people who want to participate remotely, they got to make a commitment. I literally have to speak to them one-to-one over Zoom to check them out. And they have to make a commitment to treat it like a real retreat. And that means everybody who's participating, whether it's remote or in person, is on the same page. And that's really important. And so this year we did 2 retreats at a place called KDOL on Salt Spring Island in British Columbia. And that's because our retreat center isn't ready yet. It's a hired facility, but it was built in the 80s as a formal Tibetan retreat. In fact, 2 formal Tibetan retreats by Kala Rinpoche. So we did our first 2 retreats there, and they went very successful. They're hybrid in as much as it's not specific necessarily to Tibetan Buddhism. And we do have yoga classes there as well. But essentially, it's all about gaining insight. So it's not just about sitting and looking at a candle or just stilling the mind. It's about developing insight, which is something else. And so in winter, in February 2026, we're doing a retreat in Geltendorf near Munich. That's more or less full already, but you can still apply if you want to. The information's on the website. And then also it seems like the Buddhist Youth Organization of Vienna want me to go there to teach for one day. So I'll be doing that as well. While I'm in Germany, what I'm going to be trying to do is spend most of my time writing this book that I've been trying to do for quite a few years. It's a very complicated topic and not easy. So I'll be doing that. But when I come back to Canada, then I'm returning to the Hermitage, and I'm going to work with these volunteers I've got to get the place ready for our first on-site silent retreat, which is going to happen in spring, first week of June 2026.
And people can go to www.ultimatemeaning.org, and all of the information on these retreats are there, and you can sign up to participate in them virtually. And I can tell you it's a pretty thorough process. You just can't just watch these things on YouTube and be I'm part of the retreat. You got to do a Zoom meeting with Lama as much as if you were on the real actually going there physically. You have to do a Zoom meeting with him, even if you're participating virtually. And so this is serious business, but please go over there if you want to participate in a retreat. You don't have to physically be there. And like for myself, I'm actually going to try to find out from Lama what they're eating and try to prepare like food to be similar. And when they eat, I want to participate in every way that I can. You make it as real as you want to when you're doing it virtually. And but it can be a very immersive experience, and it can be as beneficial, in my mind, as beneficial as the real thing. Well, that's incredible, Lama Choga. We're going to let you go. I know it's very late where you are, but I want to open the floor just really quickly to anybody in the chat who wants to ask Lama any questions. I really apologize. We had some audio issues with Lama through a lot of that, and that's a real shame. It was a great interview, but we can have him back anytime. I'm pretty sure that we want to get him. So we'll get him back on again for another show to talk about this stuff. So I do apologize for that. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat now. And then also, again, his links, his YouTube link and his website link. And also, let's give a shout out for the mailing list. In the description right below this stream, there is a link to Lama Choga's mailing list. He's very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. I had some part in making it happen, and so please sign up for the mailing list and get the newsletters from the Insight Sangha, and you'll be able to get all the details as each retreat and each event that they're doing rolls out. Can't thank you enough, Lama Choga. Yeah, I know, Weeble Wobble. Thank you. Weeble Wobble is the one who caught the audio problem. Yeah, it really sucks. That was a great talk, but we'll have him back on again. We'll do the best we can. We'll be back at the Hermitage next week, guys, and everything will be a lot better, God willing. So Thank you so much, Lama Choga. We're going to let you go unless you're in the raffle for the audio, unless you're in the raffle for the mailer, and then you got to stick around because you have to be here to win. But this is your last chance, guys. Enter exclamation point raffle, and then we're going to draw that right now. So everybody make sure you're in. If you thought you got in at the top of the show, enter again just to make sure. The bot will just tell you whether you're in or not, but I had a little bit of problems getting the raffle actually started. But it's running now. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pick a winner. Last chance, guys, to enter the raffle, exclamation point raffle, and I'm going to close the contest now. And okay, so the winner is, guys, again this week, emphasizing how incredibly audience free we are. Weeble Wobble, you have won the raffle for the but you didn't have a lot of competition. But once again, you won the mailer raffle. So I want you to go ahead and take a look, Weeble, on the camera real quick. You liked green last week, and you got that one coming. I got one more green one if you want a second green one. It's different, but it's also green. This one here, I had another one picked out for you that was solid green. And let me get the camera up. So there's the other one. This one here has the Dorje. The other green one that you picked, I don't think had it. I think it had the Chinese knot. And this one has the Mahayana spacers on it. So what do you think? Do you like that one, Weibo? I'm going to hold it back for you and assume that you do. It's a really nice one, and it's got the metal Dorje. And I'll add that to your other one. And you are just a lucky dude, man. Okay, guys, thank you for entering the raffle. Thank you, Lama Choga, for being with us tonight. It was a great interview. It's too bad we had so many technical difficulties. Yeah, it's a nice one. It's a beautiful one, and I'll add it to your other one. I haven't quite got that one out yet, so they'll both come out to you. And I tried to send you pictures in the email, and I wasn't able to get them, the pictures to go through. Again, we've had a bunch of internet problems down here. That'll be cured when I head back to the Hermitage this week. So I apologize for kind of the crummy show. Take a look at our merch, guys. Give a tip, leave a tip from in the tip jar if at Streamlabs if you care to. Also, the winter peel is very, very important. Again, we are really pressed. We really need to raise $500 for to really quickly, actually, in the next couple of days. So that's a real pressing matter. We've got some bills that we need to pay, and we have absolutely no food at the Hermitage. So we need your help and support to continue. As Lama Choga said, my project, which is actually part of the Insight Sangha, next year we will be donating the entire Dharma Wheel Hermitage to the Insight Sangha and to Lama Choga. We will be placing the property in the care of his nonprofit. For perpetual care, forever and ever, to be a Buddhist space where people, again, like Lama Choga said, people can come for free at no cost. Any kind of, if they want to make a free will donation, fine, but if they can't, and they can come to the Hermitage and do as lengthy a retreat as they want to without concern for financial consideration. It's a very rustic property. It's going to be even more rustic than Lama Choga's because we're not going to even have huts. We're not going to have retreat huts. So you're going to have to bring a tent and just set it up. And we'll have a prayer hall, though. By the by, eventually we're going to build a prayer hall out of stone. And then myself, I will have a small hut to live in. on the property. And you can go to the website www.dharmawheelhermitage.org and check out where we stand with development of the Dharma Wheel Hermitage. So please give a consideration to the winter appeal, because we're the wardens, we're the caretakers, but this property, this space that we're building belongs to all of you out there. So help us to keep it in the Sangha and keep building on it and keep working on it. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Love you, Weeble Wobble. Thanks for coming back again this week. Thank you, everybody who suffered through rather crappy stream, to be honest with you. I wish it had been better. The bandwidth is what the bandwidth is. So next week we'll be back home and we'll have some, good Starlink bandwidth, and we'll do another show, and we'll have Lama back at another time too as well. Hopefully some of this show can be salvaged. I may bring it down and edit it up and see how much of it I can put together and then repost it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you again next Saturday at 9 p.m. Pacific time for another episode of Live from the Hermitage. And we got a closing song for you guys. This is yet another song. This is an Aloka song. Aloka is means light, and is also the name of the dog, the now very famous dog, who is traveling with the Walk for Peace and the monks. And so this is a song, yet another song written about Aloka. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you next week.
I walk on quiet roads with dusty paws, under winter stars and gentle laws. Strangers smile, some whisper prayers, some leave food, some stop and care. I don't know borders, flags or fear, only warmth when love comes near. From every hand, from every face, I feel the hope of the human race. Thank you, world, for Christmas light, for every heart that chooses kind. May this earth be soft and fair, may peace be something everyone shares. No more hunger, no more pain, let love fall down like gentle rain. I've seen tired eyes and broken days, heard silent cries in crowded ways. But when you kneel to touch my head, I feel the words you never said. If a small dog can be loved this way, maybe the world can learn to stay. Slow